This video is going to show you how to get into the middle splits with two key principles. The first principle is use your hands to unimpinge yourself. When the legs go wide out to the side, most people complain of a pinching feeling. And if you start by using your hands to kind of rotate your hips out, you wiggle side to side, you're going to put the joint in a best fit position. Especially as you take your hands off the ground and your legs start to really go out into abduction. This hand position helps you unimpinge, and when your calves touch the ground and your groin touches the ground, that's kind of the end position. Even if you're doing something like chair splits, notice my hands, same position. They're slightly pressing down, not much, but it just kind of puts the joint in a better fit position and gets rid of that outer hip pinching, just painful feeling. And basically the reason is because it centrates the joint. It's acting the same thing as why people are using bands for mobility and stretching these days, but now you're just doing it with your hands. Principle number 2 is to arch your back and stick your butt out. As this famous gymnastics photo is showing, there's a big arch in the back and the hips translate backwards. This drawing shows the same thing. Notice the tilt of the pelvis. And even though from the front you can't tell as much, it's basically the only way to keep the feet flat and get all the way down. So from the front, you can't tell. I'm leaned forward, my butt is sticking backward, and I'm maintaining my balance. There's a pretty big arch in my back, using my hands to unimpinge myself. Then when I take my hands off, it gets harder. But normally what happens when people get this low is they turn their feet up, because basically they can't stand the impingement anymore, and turning the toes up to the sky unimpinges them. You can see me doing that in this video where I start out pretty good. I'm sinking down, but I couldn't quite tolerate it, and my feet turn up at the last moment. So this is like the final frontier for most people with the splits. You can see a little bit from this angle that I have a little bit of an arch in my back. My muscles are contracting so hard to centrate my hip joints. And this is a little bit of a more nerdy explanation of it, but basically to centrate the joint and have it move better, rotate better, have kind of maximal even contact area, and have a balanced co-contraction of all the muscles around the joint and minimal joint shearing and minimal kind of wear and tear on the joint. You've gotta do this style of stretching where you're not relaxing, you're actually pulling and contracting with so many of your deep hip muscles, and that allows you to get into a nice deep middle split position. So the summary is this: 1, use your hands to unimpinge yourself. 2, twerk, as people joke sometimes, which basically means arch your back and stick your butt out, and that will help your middle splits immensely.